everyone, and welcome to Hubusisiwe, blessed in English, Baruch in Hebrew, which means increase, fruitfulness, and multiplication. My name is Abigail. We continue with the series titled The Reign of Yahuah. So we have gone through the three parts of the definition of the reign of Yahuah, which number one, what it is not. We said that the reign of Yahuah is not eating and drinking. And then second part, we then went through that what it is, and we then established from Romans 14 verse 17 that that the reign of Yahuah is obedience, and obedience is Shema in Hebrew, which we then also broke it down as to what does Shema mean. It speaks to listen to give attention to understand, to submit to, and to subject oneself to. And we also explained as to it's about who is understanding, not what is understanding. And that we then went through that section that from that which you find in the book of Proverbs chapter 8, that Yahuah is understanding, and that also from Ephesians chapter 5 that Yahuah is our husband, and we collectively as his body and assembly, we are his bride, who are to submit to him, and even as wife are to submit to their husbands, and as wife are to subject themselves to their own husbands. And even Shaul explains that this is the mystery, that this mystery is actually not about husband and wife, but this mystery is about Yahuah and the assembly. Yahuah being the husband and the assembly being the bride, which we now have even better understanding when we read Genesis chapter 2, or when we read Bereshit chapter 2, when it says, "For this reason a man shall leave his mother and father, and he shall be joined to his wife, and then the two shall be one." From that particular scripture, with this understanding of this mystery, with this understanding of the scripture, we now understand that it was not just talking about Adam and Yahuah or Eve, but it was actually talking about Yahuah, who left his father, who left his Aleph Beit in the Shamayim, and came here on earth and took our sin and took our position and died and became one with us. It is for this reason when we read in the book of Acts chapter 26, where he had an encounter with Shaul, he said to Shaul, "Shaul, Shaul, why are you persecuting me?" He didn't say, "Why are you persecuting my people?" He didn't say, "Why are you persecuting my assembly?" He said, "Why are you persecuting me?" Why? Because from Genesis chapter 2, that the man shall leave his father and mother, and he shall be joined to his wife, and the two shall be one. Now, in this case, the two being us, the people, the assembly, are now one with Yahuah. So when the Pharisees were persecuting the assembly, they were not just persecuting the assembly, but they were now actually persecuting Yahuah, for we are now one with him. He is the head and we are the body, and we are now one with him. Hence, when the couple gets married, the two becomes one. Now, as we continue then in this particular segment, looking at the definition of the reign of Yahuah, which says that it is peace, we now need to look at what is peace. And we're going to be looking again from the Hebrew perspective, which I explained in the previous teaching as to why do we study the word from the Hebrew perspective? Why do we live from the Hebrew perspective? And please refer to the previous teaching, then you'll be able to get better understanding and better context to that. But now if we look at the Hebrew word for peace, it is shalom. And shalom is not just about greeting, because a lot of people says, hey, shalom, 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 shalom. It's just like hello, hello. No, no, no. It has more substance than just greeting. It refers to wholeness. It refers to completeness. It refers to soundness. It refers to health. It refers to safety. It refers to prosperity. So when you declare shalom to someone, you are declaring wholeness, you are declaring completeness, you are declaring soundness, you are declaring health, you are declaring safety, you are declaring prosperity when you speak shalom to someone. When you're saying that you come in shalom, you're coming in that wholeness, in soundness, in completeness. And we see this also in the book of 3rd Yahuah or 3rd John verse 2. It reads, beloved ones, I pray for you to do well in every way and be in health as your being is doing well. Other version says, as your life is doing well. Other version says, as your soul is doing well. Also, other version is they're not only saying it's doing well, it actually used the word prospers. So it says in other versions that Yahuah says that, beloved, I pray for you to do well in every way and be in health, even as your soul prospers, even as your being prospers, even as your life prospers. That it talks about be in health. And this is the definition of shalom, which is being in health, to be prosperous. And the definition of prosperity is not what unfortunately has been put out there, limiting it to just financial prosperity. Prosperity is much, much broader than financial well-being or being financially well. You can have money, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you are prosperous, that you are prospering, because even the word says that Yahuah's blessings causes one to be rich, and he adds no sorrow to it. So the richness that comes from Yahuah, the prosperity that comes from Yahuah, it adds no sorrow. You don't have to be looking every time checking your bag that there's no one who's about to backstab you, or someone who's going to steal what you have and lose your peace and lose your sleep, and always be on the lookout as to who could just pull the rug under your feet, or pull the rug or pull the carpets under your feet. This is the definition of shalom. It speaks of health, it speaks of prosperity. But also, shalom reflects trust. And we see this reflection, or this element of shalom, which reflects to trust, in the book of Yeshaya, or Isaiah chapter 26 verse 3. So Yeshaya, or Isaiah 26 verse 3, it reads, the one steadfast of mind you guard in perfect peace, for he trusts in you. So when you trust someone, then you enter, peace is reflected through trust. Maybe let me put it that way, that the people will know that you have that you are trusting someone by exhuming or by demonstrating peace, by demonstrating shalom. Because if you think about it, if I say that I'm trusting Yahuah, I don't need to panic. I don't need to panic in the sense that, oh, the economy is going down, the economy is declining, or the rent to $1 is losing value, or the inflation rate, and all those kind of things that commercially that we look at. But my trust is, because my trust is in Yahuah, I'm not going to lose my peace. My peace is not going to be disturbed by what is happening in the world that I live in, for I am not of the world, even though I am in the world. So that is the element that trust cannot reside in the same place with fear. So if you fear, then you're going to lose peace. You're not going to have peace if you are fearful, if you are anxious, if you are worried. But if you are trusting, then you be like, I'm safe under my Father's arm. He will take care of me. If it means he will send the raven like he did with Eliyahu, otherwise known as Elijah, to come and feed me, so be it. He can do it. Why not? He is the same yesterday, today, and forevermore. He does not change. He remains the same. And he is not, he does not choose people to say, I don't like this person, therefore the word I'm looking for is he's not a respecter. Yes, he's not a respecter of persons. Anyone who trusts him, anyone who trusts his word and take him on his word, he will fulfill his word in whatever it is that any person is trusting Yahuah for. So hence I'm saying that you cannot be in a state of fear at the same time trusting. And the fact that you trust Yahuah, it will be demonstrated by you having peace. We also see with Yahusha in this particular case sleeping amid a very high storm that was bashing the entire boat, and his Talmudim were crying out loud and they were fearful. Here's the word also coming up here. They were fearful, and we find this incident in the book of Matthew Matthew chapter 8 verse 24 to Matthew chapter 8 verse 24 to 26. Matthew chapter 8 verse 24 to 26. It says, and see, a great gale arose, a great turmoil arose on the sea, so that the boat was covered by the waves. But he was sleeping, Yahusha was sleeping, and his Talmudim, or his disciples, came to him and woke him up, saying, Master, Adon, save us, we are perishing. In fact, they were saying, you're not even caring for us. How could you sleep while we are in this kind of situation, adverse situation? How could you sleep while you're perishing? Don't you care? Why are you sleeping? Why are you not taking care of us? Why are you not doing something? Which is the thing that we normally do. We do to Yahuah all the time. And you start panicking. Oh, Yahuah, why are you not answering my prayers? I'm about to be kicked out of my apartment if I do not pay rent. I'm about to be kicked out of my place if I don't pay the bond. I'm about to lose my house if I do not pay the installment on this house. My children are about to be kicked out of school if I don't pay the school fees. I'm about to be stranded. I am hungry. Why are you not answering? Why are you not hearing me? We come with such accusations and making him this person who does not care, and making him this person who does not love us. This is the very same person who created us, knowing that we need our bodies to be covered, knowing that we need to have clothes on our back, knowing that we are not animals, we need to have a shelter, a roof under our head, knowing that in our times we do not eat manna, the bread of angels that falls down from the sky, or from heaven, that we need to eat food, knowing the needs that we have. How could we then accuse him of being reckless? How could we then accuse him of not taking care of us? Why are you not acting? I remember the one lady when we were still in Durban, she used to say, do it, Lord, do it now, do it now. Like, duh, he knows. He actually knows our needs before we even ask. That's why he says in the book of Matthew chapter 6, do not worry about what you're going to eat, or what you're going to drink, or what you're going to wear. For the heathens, the goyim, the foreigners, other nations are doing exactly that, who do not trust in me. For your Father knows that you have need of these things. How could he know that you have need of these things and not provide to your needs? He even says in his word that we, even as we are natural parents, we want the best for our children. When they ask for bread, we do not give them stone. When they ask for egg, we don't give them a scorpion, but we give them what they need, what they ask for. How much more about him? If we, not only being evil as we are and fall into temptation so many times naturally as natural human beings, but we even have constraints. But we even have limitations. There's so many things that I want to do for my children, but that I am limited financially. There are so many things that I want to do for myself, but I can't. I'm limited resource-wise. There's so many things that I want to do for the team that I work with in Alicia Sams, but I'm not able to do that because my resources are limited, but his resources are not limited. So why would he withhold things to us when he does not have any restrictions, when he does not have any limitations? He says in his word, silver and gold is mine, and all the cattle over the hills. What is it that you can do for me? He says the heavens, heaven is my throne and the earth is my footstool. He says that in Psalms 27 that the earth is mine. It says the earth is Yahuah's and everything in it, the people and everything in it, everything belongs to him. So how do we then come, even our times, we could be blaming the Talmudim, we could be blaming the disciples and says, oh yeah, they were lacking trust, they did not have trust, that they went to Yahuah and said, hey, wake up, how dare do you sleep? Do you not see that we are perishing? We do the same. We still do the same in different ways, in different tone, in different language. When we see the needs that we have, that it's not happening according to our timing, because again, we also give Yahuah time. He must do this within this particular time, and his timing is not like our timing. That's why the word talks about that you ask, but you do not receive because you ask amiss. What you are asking for, is that what Yahuah wants you to have? The job that you probably are fasting for, is that the place where Yahuah wants you to be? Is that what Yahuah wants you to do? So these are the things that we need to seek his kingdom. Hence, going back to Matthew or Matthew chapter 6, where he says, seek first my kingdom and walk in obedience. And then these things I shall add them to you, for I know that you have need of them. That is why we are going through the teaching of what is the kingdom of Yahuah, because it is that important that we seek it, that we know it, that we understand it, that we live in it. This is the reason why we're having this series of the reign of Yahuah. Yahushua responds to them and he says to them, why are you afraid? Why are you panicking? Why are you anxious? Because trust cannot operate at the same time where there is fear, where there is anxiety, when there is panic. Remember the teaching that I provided also in the previously, where I spoke about that the sun divides the light from the darkness. I said at any given point in time, there is always light and darkness, for Yahuah created light and he created darkness on day one, but he created the sun, the moon and the stars on day 4, which means that there was light from day 1 to day 3 before the sun, the moon and the stars were created. There was darkness from day 1 to day 3 before the sun, the moon and the stars were created. And Yahuah says that the sun was to divide the light from the darkness, which means when the sun rises, then light dominates, take predominance, preeminence, or it dominates. And also, when the sun sets, then darkness then takes dominance, then becomes dominant, then takes preeminence at that particular time. And I even made an example that prophetically, if you move from the sun, as in the S-U-E, and you speak of the son of Yahuah, which is S-O-N, Yahusha, when you lift the sun up, the son of man up, the son of Yahuah, of Yahuah up, then light will shine. But if you start doubting, which means you are elevating fear, you are elevating anxiety, you are elevating worry, then darkness is going to take dominance. Darkness is going to operate in your life because you are exonerating fear at the time. Then all forms of evil, of poverty, of sickness, of losing your peace is going to happen when you do that. He says to them, why are you afraid, O little one? Trust, only trust. For trust speaks of Shalum, that when you trust someone, then you're going to walk in Shalum, then you're going to walk in peace, then you're going to maintain the peace and the Shalom. Then having risen, he rebuked the winds and the sea, and there was a great calm. But he warns them and he rebukes them. Why are you afraid, O little one? Just trust. Trust him. He is trustworthy. And I know a lot of these words, they could be, as they being put in a religious aspect, we lost essence of them, because then you look at from the religious terminology that it is faith. Then you must define what is faith. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. But if I just say, why don't you trust him? Simple. Trust. Trust him. Just like you trust your parent, that they've got your interest at heart, that they will protect you, that they will provide to the best of their abilities, that they have your interest at heart. Trust him as well. Now, we also not only seeing the trust element or Yahuah saving the Talmudim from the storm, but in the book of Psalms or Tehillim, Psalms chapter 107, Psalms 107 verse 28 to 29, it reads, we see also here that Yasharal cried out to Yahuah in their distress. So when you are in distress, who do you cry out to? Do you pick up the phone when you're in distress to your friend? Who is the first point of contact? I think that's the word I'm looking for. Who is the first point of contact? Is it your family? Is it your husband? Is it your wife? Is it your friend? It shouldn't be. It should be your father in the Shamayim. It should be Aleph Bet. It should be Yahuah who should be your point of contact, because he does not want to be the last in your life, for he is Aleph. He is the beginning. He should be the first person that you speak to when you're going through distress. Yasharal cried out to him when they were in distress, and he brought them out of their troubles. He caused the storm to be still, so that its waves were silent. So Yahuah caused the storm to be still. He caused even the waves to be silent. He brought them out of their troubles. So when you are having troubles, when you are being tried in so many ways, who do you call out to? Who do you cry out to? And I implore you that the first call that you should make is in prayer to Yahuah. Cry out to him and say Aleph Bet, and say Aleph Bet, Father, Father, help me out. This we see in the book of Tehillim or Psalms chapter 107 verse 28 to 29. Another part also that we learn with regards to Shalom is that Yahuah gives Shalom. So we can find shalom only in him. We can find wholeness only in him. We can find completeness only in him. We can find soundness only in him. We can find health only in him. We can find safety only in him. We can find prosperity only in him. He does not want us to rely on the peace of this world, which is fake, that we put our trust to the system of this world when it comes to safety, that our safety, we say that we are confident because we have insurance, whether it is car insurance or health insurance. Then we're putting our trust and our safety of our lives to someone else, and Yahuah wants to be the one who assures us as far as our health is concerned, who assures us as far as our safety is concerned, as far as our prosperity, soundness in mind, in every aspect, then comes from him. So when we see that that Yahuah can give shalom, we read from the book of, again, Yahuah, or John chapter 14 verse 27. Yahuah 14 verse 27 or John 14 verse 7. It reads, Yahushua says to his Talmudim, or to his disciples, peace, shalom, I live with you. My peace I give to you. My shalom I give to you. I do not give to you as the world gives. Do not let your heart be troubled, neither be afraid, because being troubled and being afraid cannot operate at the same time as shalom or as peace. He says, the peace that the world gives is not of Yahuah. He says, I do not give the peace to you as the world give you. Or rather, it says, my peace I give to you. I do not give to you as the world gives. So now we see the distinction between the so-called peace of the world and the actual peace, the actual shalom, the only shalom actually that comes from Yahuah. What is then the peace of this world? The peace of this world, at best, it speaks of tolerance. Just, I tolerate you. A lot of, even in the apartheid era, some races, they were just tolerating us blacks because of the laws of the country from 1994. Not because they really want what is best for us, not because they really love us, but they just are tolerating us. So that's the difference between peace and someone tolerating your conduct, tolerating who you are. At worst, it's actually a lie. The world cannot give you peace. Whatever they are promising you a lie which has ulterior motives. So if they're promising you this so-called peace, at what cost? What is it in it for them? What are they to benefit for the so-called peace that they're going to give you? At what cost are you going to have the so-called peace? Can they give you wholeness? Can the world give you wholeness? Can the world give you completeness? Can it give you soundness? Can it give you health? Can it give you safety? Can it give you prosperity? No. Because even the medication, good as it is out there, and we're grateful, Yahuah, for the medication that the scientists have come up with, at best, it can just manage the condition that one has, that it does not make you sick, that it does not get out of control. But they cannot heal your sickness. Only Yahuah can heal you, for he says in his word that I sent my word, and my word heal your diseases. It is only him that can make us complete, only him that can make us whole. The medication, yes, it can just abate whatever pain, whatever situation that one is going through at a particular time. But we should be seeking after the health, the shalom, that comes from Yahuah. We should be seeking the safety and the prosperity that is not dependent on inflation, that is not dependent on the rand versus the dollar, that is not dependent on tariffs, that is not dependent on which countries are in relationship with which particular countries in terms of the agreements and that they come up with. This is why Yahuah is constantly saying to us, come out of her, my people. Come out of the Babylonian system, my people, that is promising fake peace, which is not genuine shalom, that is promising fake prosperity, safety, health, soundness, completeness, and wholeness, which they are unable, not even, let alone that they're not willing to give it to you. Even if they wanted to, they can't. For only such comes from Yahuah. Hence he says, come out of Babel, my children. Come out of Babylon, my people, lest you perish with her, because there is judgment already unfolding on this Babylonian system. So as we close the last part then of Shalom, we then look at, I said earlier on that Yahuah gives Shalom, but he can also take Shalom. Yahuah can also take his peace. And we find this in the book of Jeremiah or Jeremiah chapter 16 verse 5. Jeremiah or Jeremiah 16 verse 5, it reads, for thus says Yahuah, do not enter the house of mourning, neither go to lament or mourn for them, for I have withdrawn my peace from these people. I have withdrawn my shalom from these people. I have removed my peace from these people. I have taken away my shalom from these people, says Yahuah. Even the kindness and the compassions he has removed. Why did Dawood pray, as it is recorded in Psalms 51, when he was repenting, when he said, take not your Ruach from me, take not your spirit from me. He was actually referring to take not your shalom, your peace with me. I need it. Restore me. Yes, I have sinned, but only I have sinned against you, and only you have I sinned against. And that's what we people say, what do you mean you sinned against Yahuah? You took a man's wife, so you sinned against this man. Not only did you take his wife, but you also killed the man. You caused the man to be killed. But he was aware that he accounts the highest office, the highest accountability is not with men that can be bribed, but it is with Yahuah. And if your fear in what you do what you do because you fear Yahuah, then nothing is going to shake you. If you act and you do what you do because you love Yahuah, that is what drives you to also love other people. This is what he's talking about here, that we should not be taking these things for granted. Inasmuch as he's a loving Allah who gives things to us, he can also remove things from us. And that's why we see in the book of Devarim or Deuteronomy chapter 28, he told them, and it happened that if you obey, these are the blessings that are going to come before you and even overtake you. But if you disobey and you turn away from my word, these are the curses that are going to come upon you. And we saw that the curses are even much more than the blessings. So it is not true to say the love of Yahuah is unconditional. There is a condition. If you obey, this is what is going to happen. And if you disobey, this is what is going to happen. This is then where we're going to stop right now on the topic relating to Shalom, and then we'll take a short break, and then after this break we'll then be closing on the last part of the definition of the reign of Yahuah, which is joy. Shalom.